Sorry for the lack of makeup, but this is like early in the morning and I just kind of wanted to get a video in today and show you guys how to make vegan pudding. It's one of the things I missed when I went vegan because a lot of pre-made pudding mixes have gelatin in them. This is a really easy vegan pudding recipe that I found. You can make this using things you have on hand and at home, and it tastes just like the original. So I hope you guys enjoy, and it's very, very easy and simple to make. First things first, we need some very simple ingredients. We're going to start with, by mixing cornstarch, organic sugar right there, and our salt, and we're going to start mixing that first in our little saucepan over here. Just kind of mix the dry ingredients together. By using our salt here in an 1/8 teaspoon measurement, like so. And I already have the dry ingredients in there right now, if you can see that. Now I'm taking my trusty little whisk here. I'm going to whisk these together until they're well combined. And that's what it'll look like when you get it all combined together. Kind of like what we do when we make cookies. We mix the dry ingredients first, and then we'll add the wet to that. And I'm using organic soy milk, but you could probably use any kind of non-dairy milk if you don't want to use soy milk. I just like soy milk because it is more neutral in taste, but I bet almond milk would be really good in this too, or coconut milk. You just want to make sure that the milk isn't too thick in texture, or you won't get that really creamy consistency of a pudding. So we're going to slowly put in 2 cups of non-dairy milk. We're going to slowly add in our milk, and I have the heat at about, I would say close to low heat. Like I have it about on the 2 setting on my stove, but just medium low is a good kind of heat. You want to heat this gradually. You don't want it to scorch or burn. And we're just going to add a little bit at a time and whisk that in because we don't want any clumps or anything like that. This will keep the consistency really nice and smooth if you just add it in slowly. Because when you're using cornstarch, if you don't add in the liquid slowly, you get these gross kind of lumps. I've noticed anyway. So we're adding that in slowly. We're going to add a little bit more of that milk in and keep whisking it. And we're not going to add the vanilla seasoning or flavoring until the very end. So this is pretty much the only step you're going to need until it gets the consistency that you want it. Once you get your 2 cups of soy milk in there. Add my next cup, and sorry I'm making a mess over there, but whatever. That's what happens when you cook. And we're going to add this in now, all of it. And I would say you're going to have to stir this for a little while. This is the only hard part of making this, is the amount of time it takes to thicken the pudding. So you're going to stir this for probably about 10 minutes or so. I'll time it exactly so you guys know about how long this is going to take on that low level of heat. But yeah, we don't want to heat this too high because then it's going to get all tough and scorch on the bottom. So this is just the part where it requires a little bit of patience, but it really isn't that difficult. It just takes time. So I turned the temperature up a little bit just to speed the process up, but you want to make sure you're here the whole time if you turn the temperature up, because you don't want it to scorch on the bottom. You can see it's kind of getting to the point where it's boiling a little bit, and you can kind of feel on the bottom that the cornstarch is building up. So you're just going to keep stirring this, but this is a good point to get to, because this means it's going to start thickening up once you start getting some bubbles on the top of the pudding. So just keep stirring it at this point because you want it to not scorch on the bottom. And really, this recipe is easy, it just takes time. That's really the only thing that's hard about it. So when it gets about to this consistency, if you can see that there, it definitely has weight to it now. When I move it, you can see it kind of ripples. You want to cook it for about 2 minutes after it reaches this point to really get that thick pudding consistency. And then we're going to have to wait till it cools a little bit, and we're going to put it in, I'm going to put mine in the freezer to speed up the process, but you can just put it in the fridge for about, I don't know, a couple hours, maybe 3 to 4 hours, and it should be cool by then. But after we're done with this, we're going to mix in our vanilla. We're just going to mix in a tablespoon of that, or you can put in more if you want. It just depends on what you want. But it's definitely getting that really creamy, thick pudding consistency. Transferring this to a Tupperware kind of container, and we're just putting the lid on, and then we're going to put it in the freezer. And yes, my freezer is packed full of frozen vegetables, but just kind of fit it in there somewhere. Try to make it level if you can. And I'm going to put it in here for about 20 minutes, and it should be to the point where it's nice and cool by then. Alright, now that's what it looks like after it's cooled a bit. It's not completely cold yet, but you can see it's definitely a jello, it's definitely a pudding consistency there. And it tastes so creamy and good. I think the trick is just making sure you slowly blend in the soy milk so it doesn't get powdery or have any chunks in it. It just remains very smooth if you add the milk in gradually. Such an easy recipe, so delicious, and without any gelatin or animal cruelty. I hope you guys enjoyed the recipe. We'll see you again soon.